We are very, very concerned. We have looked at the visuals over the last few days with great concern when we see children carried along and participating in that looting with adults. We have to ask ourselves, what messages are these children receiving about what behavior is acceptable and what is not? And one does hope that when children arrive home with goods that they have stolen, that older members of the family who are there for the guidance of children will talk to children about theft, about stealing things that are not yours. And that we follow this up with education to children about what is appropriate and what is not. But it's very, very difficult. One could see the excitement, the passion, the, how can one say, the loss of control of the adults and older youth, the young adults in this whole looting process. And the very poor example set for children with this kind of behavior. And it was not just the looting, it was the violence as well.
Yeah.
The number of deaths. Have children been exposed to these? Did children also trample over bodies? So it needs a whole new messaging to children about what is acceptable and what is not.
Yeah.
The other concern is the arrest of some of the children involved. One does hope that the courts will deal with these children in a constructive way and ensure that these children are put in the kinds of programs that enable them to view their behavior as it should be viewed. Totally unacceptable in terms of community care, the concept of Ubuntu, and so on.
Yeah, and I suppose it hasn't really helped that you've got older people that have been lobbying these young people to be part of these protests. And I suppose the fact that the schools are closed, children don't have much to keep them busy, and that's just made it worse. You've raised the issue of concern around the arrests, and there are some cases that were registered against children as young as 14. From what you have observed, do you think law enforcement agencies have been complying with the standards that are set out in the Child Justice Act when dealing with accused minors?
I didn't. Yes, there are standards, and it is truly important that we keep to those standards. Sorry, I'm just moving my computer because my connection is unstable. It's very important that we do get children to stick to those standards of behavior that are required. But on the other hand, when children see what adults are doing, and adults are role models for children, we should, in actual fact, be very, very concerned. And I appeal to adults to make sure their behavior is an appropriate example to children. I appeal to the courts also to make sure these children are put in the correct programs, and also begin to look at children who perhaps have been used by adults to commit this crime of looting, because some children, I'm sure, have been instructed by adults during this time of looting, and that is a crime in itself. Children who are used by adults to commit crime, the adult is committing the crime when a child is instructed in this way. So, yes, the adults must be held accountable along with the children.